we covered repulsing of the monkey, and there should be questions. But first, we have to make sure that we understand the movement and why it's safe, and then try to apply it. But if we cannot apply it in the way we saw it or understand it, then no matter how much I tell you to refine it, you haven't had a start. So you have to practice it. You have to try it out. You have to test it. You have to know your body. You have to apply the principles. So just in a short way, because I tend to use it a lot because it's intimidating because you are walking backwards. It's a Tai Chi walk, but done in a backwards motion. So if you can extrapolate, it can be very safe, but you can't do it without knowing the elements that make you safe. So when we're playing our lute, we're setting it up correctly. Weight is on the back because we know that we have to advance or lift the insubstantial foot. We cannot have two weighted feet because we're going to have to do some fast movements to keep our balance. So we set it up correctly. The right hand is dipped towards your elbow. It's not parallel like this. Neither is it stiff. Neither is it this way, because you want 99% of your weight on the back, okay? So usually if people are telling me this is my best playing the lute, you know right away there's about 50%, 40% of weight in the front, but you want to totally be on the back. The first one, you keep your heel that way and you open up like this. You don't open up like this, and neither do you open up like this, but you open up slightly at eye level because you want to be able to glance at it without too much movement. I usually say, play your lute, make sure it's on the back, your weight is on the back foot, center the front hand, which is already centered, and back hand higher, open to the ceiling. So this is all I mean. Open to the ceiling, catch that ball here, but it's helping us with centering, whereas this one is now coming this way and slightly open, catching another ball coming from an angle, okay? So this is setting it up. We want to walk backwards, but we are using our limbs, our upper body, to help us with centering and being balanced. We are also using our cable to swivel on, okay? Watch how it's done. Glancing at the backhand, we're going to do several things. Hand to the ear as I go back, and I pivot on the front and I come forward. This is like if you look at my feet, it is the Tai Chi walk where one is at zigzag and one is in the forward, where no two feet can be in the same line or in the same direction. The second repulsing of the monkey, you lead with your toe. Remember I set you up with a lute and the weight was on the back, so we were on our heel. This time it's on your toe. We do repulsing of the monkey 4 times. This is now my center hand. This is the hand that's higher. I'm glancing there. I don't want to watch there because I need the coordination of my body and my hands to then lift off. But I can't just lift off. I need to consolidate my energy. I'm stable on my toe. I'm in an awkward position. I come down with my heel. At the same time, I advance that top hand and I straighten up. Repulse or pushing the monkey away. But if we are aware and particular, swiveling on my axle, meeting in the center, drawing back, weight on the back to set it up correctly again. So if we are aware of the elements that go into any movement, more than likely you are safer and you will do what is natural. But to say to you, follow me and do it, you may not get the full understanding of why we're doing it, okay? So yes, it looks like it's intriguing, but it can be risky. But knowing that these guys out here are helping you to stay stable. And you're always centering, and you're always making very clear that the advancing foot has to have no weight. If this has no weight, the opposite occurs. The other foot has to be able to ground you down to make this. And what? My axle needs to spin. My axle inside needs to help me, and I need to spin, adjust that front foot by pivoting now on the ball of the foot, the front of the foot, and then drawing back. Why do I need to draw back? Because the next one requires weight on the back. You set yourself up correctly, you glance, you multitask, but you need to understand that this guy is helping you to stay stable. And I don't pull back further back, because then I don't know where my center is, and I pull back not high, because once I say high, my shoulder now is throwing my Tai Chi posture out. I want to draw back and get 100% of my weight on my back. Okay, let's try that. So you don't have to bring that foot up so high that you lose your balance and lose the reasoning that I'm telling you. Okay, right now we're using the elements to keep you safe. You don't have to show me the extreme of it. We are learning more about our bodies and what the mind says is good for us, but trying to teach our body to move.
I just want to explain it in a slightly different way, more occidental way. We have, for function in controlling balance, 3 functions. Eyes, vision, inner ear, vestibular system, and the musculoskeletal body, which uses a thing called proprioception. Proprioception is our awareness of where the different parts of our bodies are, just from the feelings that we get from our bones, joints, muscles, ligaments, skin. And when we're first born, it's on an automatic level. But as we get better, maybe we start to get aware that, hey, we can walk and we can do whatever we need to do as an adult. But still, in our youth, a lot of this stuff is automatic. But as we get older, for various reasons, sometimes disuse, you sit at a desk too long, you're inactive, your body sort of forgets that. What we're trying to do in Tai Chi, in some way, is to improve vision, inner ear, and proprioception. But the main benefit comes in proprioception. So if Lucille says, okay, if you do and follow me and just go through the motions, you don't know what the reason why we're doing it, but it's just because she's doing it, we're going to do it. You will help your proprioceptive system, because on an automatic level, your body gets to semi-remember or remember how it used to do automatically. But Tai Chi uses the conscious mind. We harness the use of a martial art, and the martial art develops different strategies to move around in balance, safety, with maximum energy. The proprioception, what we're trying to do when we do our movements is direct our bodies to move in a certain way. And what you're doing also is you get this thing called, this concept of postural awareness. If you're just walking around and moving your arms, you become aware that one part of your body is moving, and you don't quite get the information that maybe if I put my arm this way, it's making me go this way, or maybe it's going that way. But you know that something with your body movement makes the orientation of your body slightly different. Besides postural awareness, there's this other thing called kinesthetic awareness. That is, you know consciously that if I move my body in a certain way, I will effect some other compensation movement in the rest of my body to accommodate that. And that's what Tai Chi does. It makes you move your hands. The hand says, if the hands and the body says we go this way, what happens? Everybody goes this way, okay? And that's part of the movement. Brush knee, turn the waist. And you're steady, comes down, you're stable, turn this way. You see, and that's teaching the conscious use of your proprioceptive system. So you're working on both ends, okay? So if you do nothing else but follow her, you will help your proprioception, and maybe some of the conscious changes will click on you. Oh yeah, I can do that now when I couldn't do that before. And then you harness that further.
You heard what Mel said. He said he's asking about whether this elbow that pushes away the monkey, whether this is pretty much locked, okay? And the word lock is usually a negative in Tai Chi. You never want to lock any of your joints, any of your meridians or points where energy can flow. So I don't remember reminding you that whenever we do Tai Chi, the movement and the arms are not tight in, and the best way to remember that is that you have a raw egg under your arm and you don't want to squash it, okay? So there's always that space in there. Another thing along that line is that the arms or elbows are never straight out. In Yang Tai Chi, we're always rounded. We're never out to a straight point like this, but there is some flex in that elbow. So that should answer your question. So you asked specifically whether that hand that repulses is like this, right? This one, yeah? I say NO because that would be against what I have been trying to promote, where the elbow is always has some flex in it.
When you do your Tai Chi moves, think about the analogy of a whip. I think I talked about that before, okay? The business end of the whip is the tip, but the power comes from, and the energy goes at the speed of sound, okay? Same thing in Tai Chi. You start off relaxed, and the energy is coming. You visualize the energy is coming from here, stabilized, coming up, and it comes down the back, twist, and the last minute is here. The hand starts off very relaxed. At the point of contact, you could show that, I guess, if you wanted to, but that's not the Tai Chi way. You just.
So basically, the answer is how I explained it. We're not doing martial arts, and Tai Chi is derived from martial arts, but it is a dance and it is meditation and motion. So we're not looking for that final energy coming straight out. So I think, we're okay with that. So I decided that the best thing is for me not to stick with just the beginning movements or just the middle movements or just the hard movements, but just give you a smattering of everything. And when we go over and we refine those movements, we can dig down deeper. It'll make the class not as boring because you're coming from all different times of your journey. So I want to kind of capitalize on who you are and then give you something more to work on rather than just starting, from scratch and building. But in this way of moving and jumping from different movements, if we are persistent, consistent, and put Tai Chi principles as our forefront and our priority, we will be able to get to everything, okay? All right, we have 10 minutes. Let's go through from the beginning and see if we can get to beyond grasping of the bird's tail and a little bit more, okay? So this time, shall we go the regular way, going to the left? What's that?
They can see better with so this.
Okay, so people on the left get to the right, okay? Just move so that you can see, okay? Your job is to do the best Tai Chi you know how, and beyond that, try to improve and use some of the principles that we are trying to to show you, okay? Good Tai Chi posture, dropping the shoulders, thinking good thoughts, tongue on your palate, 50-50. Shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate, take a deep breath in. So we elevate and drop that water. At shoulder level, we reverse the process, tuck the elbows, flex the knees, push the water down, form a T, hold your ball. Out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. 1. Use your core. Sit back and sit down on that imaginary stool. Zigzag out, ball for better balance. Out on a straightaway, L stance, bottom hand advances, go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, hold your ball, heel out, straight away, bow stance. Half step, hold your ball, rotate your ball to the right as you shift your weight to the back, onto the toe of the front, watch the advancing hand, put your toe out, sink down, white crane spreads its wings, checking to see whether your hand that's above baby finger slices through the left shoulder blade. Drop the front foot, tuck the elbow in as if you were to bisect your body down to your danten. Swirl back and look back by turning your hips and waist, setting it up correctly. All together. Heel, hand, ear. Turn the hips and waist. Brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. 45-degree it. Set it up correctly. All together. Ear, hand, heel. Brush your knee too. Sit back, sit down. 45-degree it. Set it up correctly. All together. And smooth the energy. Do not lock it up. Final parting of the wild. Final brush knee. Half step forward. Sit back on the back foot. Rock the front foot to toe. Set it on its heel as you play your lute. Checking for parameters of playing the lute. Right hand dipped into the left elbow. Weight on the back. Center the front hand. Glance at the back hand that's higher, open to the ceiling. Follow and glance at the back hand. We're going to step backwards. All together. Ear, lift, toe, heel, pivot on the ball of your front foot as you meet the hands, slide forward, slide back. Lead with the toe, open, glance at the left hand that's higher, all together. Toe, ear, toe, heel, pivot on the ball as you meet. Pull back, draw back. Center, higher, glance, lead with the toe, all together. Ear, toe, swivel on that axle, pivot on the ball, repulse. 3. Center, higher, lead with the toe, lift off the ground, all together. Swivel on that axle, adjust that foot, draw back. Hold your ball on a T stance. Weight on the back, energy stored. We're going to ward off our opponent using our forearm. Step out, bottom head advances, pushes him out. Set that space. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands. Grasp the bird still. Sit down. Use your hips and waist to turn back. Contact, turn at the hips and waist. Push the energy from the center. Separate the energy and roll back and sit down. Spiral up, lunge forward. Other side. Twist step. T stance. L stance. Forearm, push them out. Good Tai Chi posture. Turn hips and waist. Reposition hands. Hands go for the ride because you're sitting back, using your hips and waist. Using your hips and waist to contact to push through. Separate and roll back and sit down. Hands hardly move. They only move because they are attached. Going on. Sit back, sit down. Twist step. Cup at 12 o'clock. Out to the 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands. Oh. Now, T-step, hook, across the face, out, L stance, turn the wrist, single whip. Okay, so we need to cover single whip. Let's go on. Sit back, sit down, pivot, cup at 12 o'clock, out to the 3 o'clock. How do I get there? Do I reach there with my hands? The answer is always no. You use your hips and waist. 3 o'clock. Move to the 12 o'clock by not moving your hands, but using your hips and waist. You have a stem and a cup. We want to get out to the 9. How do we do that? Do we just reach there? No, we're at 12. We're keeping our position. We're pivoting on our left heel. Our body follows because we have hips and waists that move. 2 things happen at 9. Flip the hands, close the feet. Use your hips and waists to get to 12. At 3 o'clock, we're going to flip the hands and open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup, almost a 50-50 on weight distribution. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, simultaneously close the feet. Stem cup at 12. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. After 3 rotations, we look in the 3 o'clock position. We hook our hand and we form a T on our feet. The left hand comes across our face, steps out and turn the wrist out again, and you're in a single whip position. Okay? One more or a couple more moves. Half step forward. Sit back on the back foot warrants you to open your hands or palms to the ceiling at the same time. The weight of your left foot is on its toe. It's the insubstantial. So therefore, if you set it up correctly, you can now lift it off and go up the horse's mane. You're going to jab the guy by bringing your right hand crossing of the left hand crossing the right. You're in the center of your body. You're on your toe. You're going to step out with your left heel. Gather the energy, center the energy, right foot, right hand coming up, and kick out right. In, drop gently on your right heel on a L stance, and double punch him in the ear. So you ask yourself, if the opponent that you're fighting or working with, where is his ears? Okay, and that's the size of the punch or the distance of the punch that you have. Then you should kind of curl it in. Sit back, sit down, pivot all the way around, gather the energy, semicircle it, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out, left, and then hook the right hand and split to your toe of your left. And we're now at serpent in the ground.